Bikes for city cycling come in many different guises, from simple single speeds to old school town bikes via road and gravel and mountain bikes. Anything goes, really.
And for good reason, right? Because all bikes are great.
However, it doesn't mean that some bikes aren't better suited to city riding than others. What happens when one of the leading road and mountain bike manufacturers goes all in to design the best bike they can for city cycling? This is what you get. Now, some might say that with this bike, Orbea have really gone to town. Sorry, I'll get my Kate. Now, jokes aside, this is the Orbea Diem. I have not met a more passionate bunch of people than the folks at Orbea. They pour their hearts and souls into their bikes, so I was super interested to see what they'd done here, as I think you will be too. What are the headlines? It is an ebIke built around a Shimano motor. It's got a powerful 630 watt-hour battery integrated into the frame. Integration, in fact, is the name of the game here. Lights, mudguards, rack, motor and phone mount. In fact, there are basically no exposed cables or wires. But there is even a port from which you can charge your phone as you ride, which I love. Is it the ultimate city bike? Hit the like button if you agree and get involved in the comments while I tell you a little bit more about it.
I don't want to dive into all the techie details without first acknowledging some of the simpler but equally important aspects. I'm going to start with the strikingly obvious one, the frame.
This unconventional looking bit here, Orbea have called Diamond Glide. And actually it's something that they've patented because they say it allows the frame to better absorb bumps without needing to resort to suspension, which is something else you would need to maintain. Now, they've also designed the frame to be confidence inspiring. So it's still nippy around town, but it's a very stable bike. And this low slung top tube here allows you to get on and off really easily. You can even lower the saddle at the drop of a button for when you're stopped at traffic lights or a junction or something. Or, dare I say actually, ideal for sharing this bike with someone else of a different height. It's also got these big, wide, super puncture-resistant tyres, powerful disc brakes, but yet, in spite of all the tech on it, it's still pretty lightweight. There are 3 models in the range, the DM10, the 20 and the 30. This one is the range-topping 10, which has all the trimmings. Now, as I mentioned at the start, the bikes have Shimano motors. This top-of-the-range DM10 has the EP8 model. It can put out a whopping 85 Newton meters of torque. Which means what? Exactly. Well, in reality, you could pull away from stationary on the steepest of climbs, heavily laden with goodness knows what, even towing a trailer if you felt like it. The battery is integrated into the down tube, safely secured away, and you can charge it through this little port here. There's no dedicated Shimano display on your handlebars. Instead, your controls are at your fingertips. Or thumb tips, I should say, here. Now, you can scroll up or down through the 3 power modes, and a little LED light there lets you know which one you're in, and another LED light shows your battery status. Now, if you want more information from the motor, there is an app that means you can connect your phone up to it. The reality is that not many people, I think, will feel the need to modify the way the motor works, but it's cool because it does keep a track of how far you've ridden in total on the bike. And the other cool thing is the fact that you can mount your phone to the bike here. There's a dedicated phone case and it allows you to clip it onto the handlebars up there. So you could use it potentially as a sat nav or something like that. And Orbea also point out that so many smartphones now are so big you can't really pedal very comfortably with it in your pocket, so better to put it up there. Now, while we're at the handlebars, you might notice that there's something missing from up here, and that is any kind of gear shifter. It's not because the bike has no gears, but instead because the gears come from a company called Enviolo, and there's no shifter because they're fully automatic. The idea being that you are always in the right gear, and you don't notice as the bike shifts for you as your speed varies. Now, the Enviolo also has an app that allows you to customize, basically to set how fast you want your pedals to turn before you're shifting gears.
Perhaps the biggest strength of this system, other than the incredible ease of use, is the fact that there are no exposed moving parts. It even runs off a belt drive, so there's no rusty or oily chains to worry about either. It should give you basically a maintenance-free life. And in fact, that is one of the striking things about this bike, is that all of the inner workings are hidden and concealed or integrated. And so whilst it is very clearly still a bike, it actually kind of reminds me more about the same sort of experience as you get driving a modern car. A good example of that is the lights, which are again all integrated. It's got daytime running lights, front and rear. The rear even indicates when you're slowing down. And then there's an additional front headlight as well that switches on as it's getting dark automatically. And it all runs off the one central battery, so there are fewer things to worry about charging and fewer things that can be taken off your bike when you don't want them to.
Now, whilst we're talking security, Orbea have also designed a place on this bike specifically to house an AirTag or something similar. I'm not going to tell you exactly where on the bike it is, not that it would be very quick or easy to get to anyway, but still, I think that's really cool. Now, what else makes this a mega city bike? Sometimes it's the simple things, right? Like the kickstand or the mudguards, which are pretty much essential for city cycling in order to keep your clothes from getting mucky, even when it's not raining. The rear rack here will take 20 kilos of weight. The front rack that I've got on this DM10 will take another 10 kilos of storage. And if you need more, then the bike is compatible with most dedicated bike trailers, allowing you to tow either more stuff or your kids. Now, the last thing I mentioned at the start, this dedicated USB-C charging port up here, so you can charge your phone if you're using it as sat-nav, whilst also playing some banging tunes. There are, as I've mentioned, 3 models to this bike. This, the all-singing, all-dancing DM10. Then the DM20, which loses the automatic gears, swapping them instead for a 5-speed Shimano Nexus setup, but retaining the belt drive. And then there's the 30, which has more conventional Shimano Q's gears with a normal chain. And that also has a slightly smaller battery, which is a bit lighter, but also gives you a little bit less range. Enough still to get you over 100 Ks on a charge, although that of course depends on how hard you are using the bike and draining the battery. There is of course a premium on this bike over a simple single speed, but I don't think this is being designed to replace a simple single speed. I think this is designed to work in tandem with other city bikes to provide an amazing option for those with the means. Yes, I think experienced cyclists would love this bike, but I think it's also been designed to tempt non-cyclists back onto 2 wheels and out of their cars. If you tell someone that doesn't normally cycle that they don't have to worry about changing gears, going up hills, punctures, oily chains, and getting on and off, and their faces absolutely light up. The fact that it looks super cool too is an absolute bonus. Now, I'll be super interested to hear your thoughts on this bike, so get involved in the comments section. Is it a high-tech super commuter? I'll be replying to you, so get involved. Huge thanks to Orbea for loaning us this bike. Give it a big thumbs up again if you agree that this is a banger of a city bike.